I wanted to reflect on my phonics instruction because I was very frustrated with how my teaching practice had been for the last 3 years. I wasn't seeing results with my students. Let's blend it.
Torch, torch.
Ooh, listen to you readers. And so I felt like something just had to change. I needed something to change.
Year.
I had heard whisperings of Jolene, and I needed somebody who could help me put into practice the things that I had learned from letters and some of the science of reading things, and I knew that Jolene probably was that person.
The first thing is that she was willing to be coached.
Homer and Amir said.
She came to me and said, hey, these scores are terrible, and they've been terrible for the last few years. I want to make a difference in kids' lives. I want them to read.
Braid.
Braid.
Without B, you have?
Braid.
Excellent. So first we started from scratch, and then we really worked each piece from our current curriculum. We worked that into the framework, and then we just kind of went back and forth, did some tweaking.
And then we moved to correct letter sounds, and look at that.
He's got them.
Another resource that I used is just the coaching cycle. So we would have conversations about what we were doing, but then I would go in, I would take data, she would come and meet with me, we'd go through the data, we'd look at things, talk about what's next.
B, R, A, D.
Braid.
Awesome. Having a coach that is willing to get down and do the hands-on and get in and do that nitty-gritty and help build my confidence as a teacher really helped support me so that I could say, okay, hey, I can do this. What's the word?
Severe.
Severe. My students responded almost immediately. It was like a night and day difference. They were almost immediate, full engagement. They were excited to read. They were ready to tell me their patterns. It was a very immediate response.
Amir. Dear.
I have yet to have taken data on her phonics lesson where engagement is less than 95%. Engagement is huge. You can't teach them to read if they're not engaged. She had 75% of her kids in the red with the Acadience beginning of year. And we're not talking just red, they were scarlet red.
Significantly below. Now I'm gonna have you check in a mirror. I want you to check that your mouth looks like mine.
As I checked the progress monitoring, she has at least 70% of her kids that will make adequate growth this year.
And that's just adequate. As I go through and progress monitor my students, I see so many that are in above typical growth, which is very exciting for me as a teacher. What sound do they have to make? Ear. They have to make the ear sound. My classroom management is much more seamless. What used to be an hour of struggle has now become an hour of true learning and true excitement from my students. And so they are engaged because of the different activities and the fast pace of the lesson.
Board.
I wish I could clone Jolene and send her into every school, seriously, every school in this state, so that every teacher had access to a Jolene. Seriously.
Clear the tears.
As a teacher, to have students come in and say to me, Ms. Cahoon, I can read. If I could be vulnerable, there really is no feeling like having a student who could do nothing, who had no confidence, and now they come to you and they know how to read. Because I honestly think deep down, they know that the trajectory of their life has changed and that they can succeed and that they can do these things. That feels good. That feels like, man, I did this. I helped this kid.